Book 2, Chapter 4. The trapdoor above us opened up, allowing the platform to slowly lift us through the thick layer of rocks making up to the cave ceiling. Once we get close to the height of level of our division cell, a second trapdoor opens up. The platform slows down to a halt. As we finally reach a destination, almost immediately after it stops, the elevator changes course and starts to descend back down towards the lower levels. We jump off the platform onto the cell's floor. The trapdoor closes itself back up, blocking the elevator from our view. What's going on? We hear a voice coming from behind us. How did you get here? How in the bloody God's name did you get so bloody wet? As both I and Layla turn around, we quickly realize the elevator did not in fact lead us back to Layla's room. Instead, it led us to cell number 3, which is one of the rooms that the desk worker offered me to change from when I first got here. Oh, so if I chose desk number 3, it would have been better. Interesting. When I first got here, and also the room that is currently being inhabited by the mage who got locked up in this place yesterday. The mage is looking at us with a somewhat frightened look, with a trickle of sweat running down his forehead. He appears to be hiding something behind his back. Sorry to bother you, I tell the mage. We went out for a swim. We were lost on our way. We'll be out of here as soon as you unlock the door for us. Out for a swim, the mage asked, shocked. You were trying to escape, weren't you? Give me one good reason why I shouldn't call the guards right now and tell them what I'm doing. If you let us go, I won't ask anything about that thing you're hiding behind your back. Let's go with that. What thing? The mage says. I'm not hiding anything behind my back. It's not going to work, Layla writes while looking directly at the mage. Still writing, the mage asks, confused while looking at Layla. Is how you talk? What's not going to work? What's not going to work? Layla reaches for the floor in order to pick up an object that looks like it was made by gluing several pieces of scrap metal together in the most random way possible. The item is small enough to fit in her palm, so she grabs it with one hand. She stretches her arm towards the mage, bringing the metal object several inches away from his face. This, Layla writes, this is what's not going to work. I don't know what you're talking about, the mage says, feigning ignorance. That's just a piece of scrap metal. No, Layla writes. This is a device that's meant to enhance your physical abilities for a limited amount of time. That thing you're hiding behind your back is likely meant to act as a bridge between you and the scrap metal device, allowing you to transfer magical energy into it over a period of time. Interesting. So this is how the Letsethi do it. I mean, I suppose they don't directly channel it. They probably make devices that like automatically grabs energy and transfers it to its user and allow the user to use it, because that's how the other Letsethi use magic. They're just really smart people from the looks of it. And this guy is making another version where he's supplementing with his own magical energy. The mate starts to say, but he stops when he sees a new text appear in front of him. You can't use this device in this arena, Layla writes. It will be detected immediately if you don't get it. If you don't get it to somehow If you don't get it to somehow link itself directly to your magical aura, the magical energy that will burst from this device when you activate it will trigger all the magical detectors in a 5-mile radius. Either way, even if you do somehow get it to work, the device is so poorly made that you won't be able to use it for more than a few minutes, even if you spend the whole day charging it. A few minutes is more than enough in an arena, the mage shouts. A few minutes can mean the difference between life and death. You don't know how terrifying an arena can be. You have no idea. If I can get even the slightest advantage of this device, then I will use it gladly. Don't say I didn't warn you, the Layla writes. She hands the mage his scrap metal device. The mage takes the device. He looks at it for a few seconds with a contemplative expression on his face, and then pulls out a key from his pocket. He walks past us, unlocks and opens the door. This meeting never took place, the mage says as he looks towards each of us in turn. Do you understand? Now go on, get out of here. You don't need to tell us twice, I say as I head out of the room and leave the room together with Layla. The mage closes the door behind us. The two of us start to head towards our rooms. I'm surprised that you could tell what that device was meant for in just one glance, I say. I used to spend a lot of time in my father's workshop back when we were living in our forest cabin, Layla writes. I learned a thing or two while watching him work. You think he'll be able to modify the device in time for the arena? Ask her. It's possible, Layla writes, but he'll need to do it fast. He won't be able to charge it with energy while he's tinkering with it, and he'll need to charge it for at least 10 hours to get any decent use out of it, given how inefficient it is. We should go. So is this a good thing that we ended up in his cell? If I had chosen like particularly cell 4-3, then he wouldn't be here, and then we wouldn't, alert him, and then he wouldn't be able to use this properly. That would be interesting. Or given how inefficient this is, we should go get change, I say. I also want to take a look through my notes to see if I can find any useful information on the creatures we've seen in the caverns. I'll see you in a few hours to tell you what I found, Layla nods. I also feel like if we had killed those creatures, the arena's owner probably would have been mad. See you later, Layla writes. She heads towards her room. I go back to my own room as well. The first thing I do after I enter it is to search my backpack for a dry shirt and a new pair of pants. Once I get changed and leave my wet clothes to dry, I pick up my notebook and get back to studying. About an hour after I start reading, I got a call from my transceiver from Flower. Barry, are you okay? Flower asked me out of the blue with a bit of panic in her voice. I could immediately tell that it was her and not Luna speaking from the tone of her voice. Yes, I'm alive, I say. We managed to get back to ourselves about an hour ago. Thank the gods, the Flower says. When I heard about what happened, I got really worried, especially when I found out that you got left alone with that jerk Firen. Belle's been very sick too. No, I asked her surprised. Did she say that? Well, technically, Flower says what she said was that if you couldn't handle yourself in this situation like that after joining this tournament, that you deserved your fate. But I'm sure that's not what she really meant. Oh yeah? Will you tell her that her blue eyes make her look fat? It's okay, I know she means well. How about Araka? Was she worried about me? Which one should I go for? Her eyes make her look fat? What does that even mean? I mean, and that would also apply to Flower, wouldn't it? It's okay, I know she means well. What about Araka? Was she worried about me? Of course I was worried, Araka says. I'm worried about you all the time. I keep praying every day that someone will finally find a cure for your morbid stupidity, but I had no luck so far. But don't be discouraged though. I'm sure that someone will eventually put you out of your misery. Thank you for your kind words, Adela. No problem, Araka says. Also, would you mind telling me how in hell you managed to convince the troll to let you go? I thought for sure you were done for when I sensed him to come near you. You mean Velgos? I asked her. The troll that wouldn't die when you cut his head off. I got stopped by the arena's owner. Apparently, he wants to make a show of our fight. We're fighting the troll in the second round of the arena instead. Ha, the arena says. I'll be looking forward to it. Be careful, Barry. Flower says. We won't be able to help you while you're in the arena. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I'll be fine. Thanks for your concern. After I get done talking to Flower, I'll spend another hour studying my notes and then started calling my friends from the other divisions. Only what? Friends from other divisions, okay. One by one I tell him an order of my findings. Then I got to Kate. I've also decided to tell her about her old inmate from the beacon to see how she'd react. Hey Kate, I say, do you remember having met a young Lasethi girl with silver hair? You couldn't talk back when you were in the Beacon of Hope, or maybe she had black hair back then, I'm not sure. The brief pause after I finished my phrase, during which I can't even hear the sound of Kate's breathing. How do you know about Layla? Kate asks after a few seconds. So you do remember, I say. Were the two of you on good terms, or tell me how you know about her? Kate shouts. Okay, I say. I met her the other day. She's a member of my division. She's still alive. There's another brief pause during which Kate doesn't say anything. You are certain of this, Kate says. How do you know it's really her? She might be trying to trick you. Anyone can dye their hair white, pretend that they're not able to speak. Layla, I know. The Layla I know should have been dead for a long time. Why, I say, did you find her body? No, Kate said, I did not. Well, then I guess it wouldn't hurt you for you to meet her, would it? You'll be able to tell for yourself if it really is her when you see her up close. Alright, Barry, Kate says, I'll agree to meet her, but be careful around her. You can't be sure that it's really her. There were a lot of Lasethi in the institution that knew about us. The information could have gotten out in any number of ways. Fine, I'll be careful, I say. I'll see you at the arena tomorrow. Don't be late. See you tomorrow, Kate says simply, and then we both close the transmission. Once I make sure that every one of my friends know the monsters from the arena and their weakness, I decide that it's time to get back to Layla in order to finally formulate a plan for how to deal with tomorrow's events. When I reach her room, I knock 3 times. She opens her door, dressed in the same clothes that she was wearing when we got back from the caverns. Her clothes are not as wet as they were when we returned, and they were definitely nowhere near dry yet. You didn't get change, I ask her, shocked. I don't have any change of clothes, Layla writes, when carrying a backpack with me when I got captured. Well, when you say something, I say you could have asked me for some spare clothes until yours dried up. I didn't want to bother you. I didn't want to be a bother, Layla writes. Wait a minute, I say. If you don't have backpack with you, then what about food? Don't tell me you haven't eaten anything since you came here. The guards have provided me with a minimum supply of food and water, Layla says. Just enough to get by. It's not a problem. Of course it's a problem, I say. Wait, here, I'm going to bring you a change of clothes and some food. We don't have to. Layla starts to write, but I ignore her and go back to my room in search for some clothes and some beef jerky from my backpack. And I come back to Layla. I had to hand her a long sleeve shirt, a pair of pants, jerky, and a bottle of water. Here you go, I tell Layla. Now hurry up, get changed, will you? You wouldn't want to catch a cold right up before the arena. Thank you, Layla writes as she takes what I was given her and then closes the door in order to get changed.